Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Bilbo?
Present.
Mr. Haas?
Here.
Ms. Houck? Here. Mr. Kelleher?
Here.
Mr. Perry?
Here.
Ms. Sedman? Mr. Schnee? Mr. Urban? Mr. Vogt?
Present.
Ms. Wakes?
Present.
Mr. McGinley?
Present.
8 present.
8 present. Just as a point of interest, Ms. Sageman had a death in the family, and that's why she will not be attending tonight's meeting. She called and excused herself, but obviously that's more important at this point for her. Our first hearing this evening is in regards to the proposed ordinance for the zoning map. This was something we discussed at our last council meeting during the work session. As a point of information, we have received a letter today, this afternoon, from Attorney Frank Hagan in regards to that proposed rezoning. When the hearing was held, there was a letter that was sent back to the requesting parties as a result of, I guess, negotiation or discussion with the neighbor, who in this case happens to be the IBEW, which is the electrical workers. And they said that they would abide by the Article 5 industrial districts maintain yard area setbacks and height regulations. That was one of the agreed upon. And the second was the Section 4 dot 212, and that's the M2 light industrial district regarding noise. Table A, maintain maximum sound pressure levels and decibels. So this was something that was discussed by the Planning Commission, correct, Mr. Eddy? And it was something that the people who are requesting the rezoning were fully aware of, correct?
That is correct. I think the reason why we didn't include it with the letter, with the package, was because the requesters were the adjacent properties rather than the actual subject properties, which are part of the rezoning application that you are going to hear tonight.
Okay.
So that's probably why it wasn't included, but that's an error on my part, and I apologize. But essentially what the letter does is it codifies that the IBEW's property, whatever they choose to do in the future, would not be subject to further stringent standards that would be applied to the R2 district, or as a result of the R2 district that would be put in place where the rezoning could be approved.
So noted. So when we get to that discussion on the voting session, we will have an amendment to add to the resolution to identify that, okay? Having said that, do we have anyone, Mr. Javer, do you want to comment in that regard? You have your slip up here.
Is this for the business meeting?
No, this is the rezoning hearing.
No.
Mr. McCabe, you also have your slip here. This regard to the rezoning.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, last month I brought up about the Water Street Bridge was closed for 3 days in February.
1 second. This is the hearing regarding the rezoning.
Oh, well, you called me up, you know, that's
Yeah,
why.
no, I asked if you wanted to comment because you have your slip in. And I know you want to comment about the other one. but
Okay,
that-
okay.
That'll be a little later.
Well, you're the one running the show, you called me.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem. Anyone else in the audience who would like to address this rezoning that's being proposed? Anyone in the audience who would like to address the rezoning as proposed? And you can understand that we will have an amendment to that to comply with the letter that was received. Anyone on council? And this, Mr. Eddy, just to be clear, everybody was fine with this, and this was something the Planning Commission was fine with?
Yeah, this was a letter that was generated at the behest of the Planning Commission to address the concerns from the adjacent property.
Okay.
And the applicants were further and formally in consent with it.
Okay. Are there any questions for Mr. Eddy? Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn the public hearing in regards to the rezoning?
So move.
Mr. Kelleher, do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Wakes, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition, any abstentions, none heard, motion carries. 5:40, we will do the budget request in regards to the Luzerne County Drug Task Force Officer, which is part of the District Attorney's Office, okay? So we'll wait till 5:40 to commence with that hearing.